what we need to do is we need to specify the damp-proof membranes. What do we do? So we've got two products. So we've got Screedmaster one coat membrane. One coat membrane is a 2-component epoxy DPM. We'd specify that every day. It's your belt and braces, and it's your surefire product. It dries rock solid. So that's a bit I poured into a bucket lid, and that's how one coat. It's what one coat membrane looks like when it's dry.
And that's how thick it is?
No, I've just sort of put it. When you apply it, it's about 1/3 of a millimetre, 300 microns. But you've got to have enough to cover the aggregate in the floor. So what you want is you want your DPM to look like that when you apply it. You don't want any matte appearances or dull appearances or any pinholing in it. It's just got to look black as you're at, nice, shiny, and glossy, and then you know you've got a good coverage on the floor. And this can go on new builds and refurb jobs. So in London, we've got these really old buildings, direct to earth slabs, so there's no visqueen layer in the floor. That's where you want this. How do you know you need this? Ask them what
basements and stuff like that.
Basements. And when they ring up, I've got quarry tiles on my floor, what should I do? How old's your building? First question. I've got crunchy marley tiles on the floor, thermoplastic tiles. How old's your building? I've got bitumen adhesive on the floor. How old's your building? They all highlight that it's an old building. As soon as you hear those sort of things, that's where you want to start speccing.
Okay. So there's a rule of thumb then for that stuff, is it like an old building?
Yeah. I would always use this on old buildings.
Okay.
I would try and push this all the time, really, because it's the belt and braces.
Yeah, okay.
But if time's a bit of an essence, and you know it's a new build, you can get away with a rapid
cement,
DPM.
flat floor,
A nice,
95%. Alright.
So domestically, this goes a lot. A lot of people use this domestically because sand cement floor, just roll apply 2 coats, and job's done. So this dries in 15 minutes for the first coat, an hour for the second coat. This one, you basically got to leave it overnight to dry.
Okay.
Because it's a chemical reaction occurring. This is just water evaporating out of it. But yeah, belt and braces does the job. So what we'd do is we'd want to check for moisture.
Yeah.
So this could go up to 95% RH.
Okay.
Not as high as the one coat,
Yeah.
but 95 still blooming high.
Yeah.
So it's got a really good history out there. Done lots of jobs on it, lots of London jobs. One job in London was Canning Town. They had a Hallsville Quarter development, and it was a combination of hotel, apartments, and leisure facilities and shops and stuff. All the hotel and all the domestics were all done in rapid DPM, because the RH levels were right for it, were below 95, so we've got to expect for that. And that's
I think your slab's got to be in good condition as well and flat.
Yeah.
Because that is obviously a liquid DPM. You know what I mean?
You roll it on.
You roll it on, whereas the one coat is a liquid trowel.
Yeah.
So it'll go thicker, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it does,
You've got a trowel that one, have you?
Yeah.
You've got a trowel or one coat?
You trowel it on with a notch trowel and then roll it afterwards.
Ah, okay, yeah.
So use a fine notch trowel. So any floor layer, they should know how to put DPM down.
Yeah.
Might not have used ours, but they work the same.
Yeah, you believe.
And then this one is just roll apply. So you roll the first coat down, 15 minutes it'll be dry. Then to a right angle to the first, you roll the second coat down so you get in a good coverage.
Yeah.
So 2 DPM products. So
Is that
the
whole range you do? Just them two?
Yeah.
just those two in terms of moisture protection.
Yeah.
So avoiding moisture affecting your floor coverings. So once we've put those down and they've dried, what do we do? So sometimes priming is required. And why do we need to prime? Because it makes a good floor better. So if the floor is dry, we don't need a DPM. We can go straight on with our smoothing compounds. But before we put the smoothing compound down, we need to prime it. If we put our one coat down, we need to make the smoothing compound stick to the DPM. We need to prime it. This one we don't need to prime. So we need to prime it to get the bonding on there. What else does priming do? It seals the floor. When troweling out your smoothing compounds, if the floor's dry, it sucks the goodness out of the product. Then what do you get? Lots of pinholes in the product. Pinholes are ugly. People don't like them. If you've got really thin, sensitive floor coverings, they might peer through it. So prime it, reduce the pinhole in, priming also helps to stop the goodness being sucked out. So when you're troweling out your smoothie compound, people might notice it gets a bit thicker, a bit thicker, a bit thicker, because all the moisture can end up with trail marks appearing in the smoothing compound because it's not flowing as well, because it's dried out too quick, because the floor sucked all the goodness out of it. So priming keeps those flow rates up there, keeps liquid in there, so any liquid can evaporate out in the atmosphere as it dries. A lot of people go, I don't need to prime. There are products out there on the market that say no need to prime, but priming just makes a good floor better. So prime every time was our rule. It's a crime not to prime. Prime every time. We've got little rhymes and all that. And there are products out there on the market that say don't need to prime, but when that job goes belly up and the technical rep comes out and goes, you know, that job should have primed on that one. So it's best to prime every time, really. It doesn't take that long to prime. It's just.
Yeah.
And what else? What do you get from priming? It's a bonding agent. Promotes a better bond to the smoothie compound to the subfloor as well. So it promotes a stronger, better bond. Locks down dust as well. So Screedmaster Universal Primer is our general day-to-day primer. You can use it neat or diluted, depending on your application. So Universal Primer, we dilute that on absorbent floors. Anything that's absorbent, dilute it 2 to 1. Non-absorbent, we use it neat. So this is non-absorbent over the DPM, so we'd have to go neat with the primer. And then you go straight on with your smoothing compound. Sometimes there's different types of screeds out there, or you need to apply your smoothing compounds at different thicknesses. So we've got a bit stronger, much more meatier primer out there called the epoxy primer. And that can go over things like anhydrite, calcium sulfate, screeds. And they're a bit of a bugger that you'll come across in the building market. People don't like them. If you've got a job where you've got to build the levels up in the floor, over 10 mil, then you want to go for the epoxy primer, because the epoxy primer is a stronger bonding agent, which means you can go thicker with your smoothing compound. So when the smoothing compound dries, it creates tension. It pulls at the floor underneath what's underneath it. So if it's weak floor underneath it, it's going to pull and could pull it off the floor. If you if you're going really thick, the product, then the tension is even more. So you want a stronger primer to cope with that tension created in the drying process. So over 10 mil, you want to go with epoxy primer. Under 10 mil, universal primer. So we've got 2 primers in the market. With the anhydrite screeds, gypsum and cement don't like each other. So you've got gypsum in the floor, cement in the smoothie compound. You put the cement over the gypsum, the chemical reaction is going to occur, and you're going to get a formation of crystals between the two. It's going to pop off. So by putting the epoxy primer down, you create a barrier between the two. Then you can go on with your cement-based smoothing compound, and no chemical reaction is going to occur. So that's one of the things we come across quite often is poor priming, wrong primer used on anhydrite screeds. So then we've got primers. So universal primer comes in a 5 litre bottle. You can dilute it. Epoxy primer, 2 component, mix A and B together. Again, chemical curing, evaporation.